Hey guys, welcome to Saints Game Talk. T-Rose, G-Man. SamRob, Saints coming off an unimpressive 26-9 loss against division rival Bucs. It was an offensive display of offense, pun intended. Baker Mayfield looked like the reincarnation of Tom Brady, going 25 for 32 for 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Saints threesome of Derek Carr, Taysom Hill, and Jameis Winston went a combined 24 of 39 for 140 yards and 1 interception. Alvin Kamara returned to the lineup after a 3-game suspension, rushing for 51 yards on 11 carries for a 4.6-yard average. He also caught 13 balls for 33 yards for 2.5 average. Total yards, Bucs had 352 versus the Saints 197. Bucs had 239 yards passing. Saints had 127. Bucs had 114 yards rushing versus the Saints 70. Bucs had 21 first down versus the Saints 16. Bucs ran 67 total plays to the Saints 61. The Bucs had 3 sacks versus the Saints 1. Bucs had 11 penalties for 91 yards. Saints 7 for 58. Turnovers, Bucs had 1 interception. Saints had 2 fumbles and 1 interception. Time of possession, the Bucs had the ball 31 minutes and 11 seconds. The Saints had the ball 28 minutes and 49 seconds. Another note, Saints went 5 of 14 on third down, which is pretty indicative of the kind of offensive day they had. Pipe, what's your take on the game?
My first thoughts was we lost to Baker Mayfield. Lethargic, lack of effort, and pathetic.
That says it well. Sam?
My feeling after that game was that for the first time, I'm beginning to see what I think is lack of preparation. It seemed it presented like that to me. They didn't seem ready to play.
Gotcha. Didn't ready to play. And I'm going to get back to you on some specifics of that. Pipe, what was your overview of the offense?
My overview was first down play calling, starting out majority of the time in 2nd and 8, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 15, 3rd and 8, and I think the poor quarterback play.
Sam, what's your take?
I'm going to piggyback on that a bit and add a little texture. The play calling seemed just unimaginative. Kept trying to get the ball to Kamara in the same spot when obviously Tampa had prepared for him getting the ball there in the backfield, out towards the numbers, and they shut that play down. I don't know how many times. Seems like Pete has gone overboard with the, hey, you're not getting him the ball out of the backfield. Well, there are many ways for you to do that. You can get him down the field a little bit more. You can do that Texas route. We didn't see any of that. It was just stagnant is what I would call it.
And to point out exactly what you're saying, anytime you're giving the ball to Kamara on receptions 13 times, and he's averaging 2.5 yards a reception, that shines a light on exactly what you just said.
Right.
Pipe,
right.
Did anyone on offense catch your eye in a positive way?
Not really. I mean, the usual suspects played well. Michael Thomas, Shaheed, Olave, Hill. But I think it's just underutilization of our greatest commodities is our playmakers, and it wasn't there. And y'all said it earlier with he was targeted. Kamara was targeted 14 times, 13 catches, 2.5 yards. And they were, like Sam said, out to the numbers. But, every time he put his hands on the ball, you had 2 Bucs on top of him. And they have some of the fastest linebackers in the league. I mean, I'm thinking back to when Peyton was here, he had Kamara coming out of the backfield on more option routes, where he had, he was one-on-one with the linebacker, and it was hard to cover him if him and Breeze was on, working in a cohesive way.
Right.
So, that's what stuck out me the most.
Sam,
the third down.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, Pike.
The third down conversion was atrocious because we got so far back with the first down production. Carl was hesitant when he was throwing the ball. Looked like to me like he's not gonna let that ball go if he don't see you. I mean, he's not throwing his receivers open, and he's not throwing in that window. He's not trusting that they're gonna be there. He's holding the ball, and it's not working. And the play calling, Carmichael was just awful to me.
Right.
And actually, probably the worst play calling this season so far.
And I want to go to Sam. Sam, you've been complaining about Carmichael for a couple of years now. What specific have you seen, particularly last year and this year, his first 2 years as the primary play caller? What's different?
So some of it is kind of nuanced, and I'm sure Pete Carmichael knows more about NFL offense than I'll ever know, right? But from watching people like Shanahan and Peyton call plays, you can sense things, right? And you can see certain things. Use of personnel at given times, who's on the field when, and what are they doing? The sides of the field that you're running a certain play to, and when and in what situations. A perfect example this week was, and maybe an injury contributed to this, but we all know that Jimmy Graham is not that great a blocker, okay? He had a play where where the ball goes quickly to Olave near the sideline, and Jimmy Graham is supposed to be coming out and catching the block on the corner. Well, of course, Jimmy missed that block, and Olave took quite a lick. And I think, although they have not said this, I think that was most of the reason that Olave was not very productive the rest of the day, because he got a little shook up there. Now, he gutted it out and played. I heard someone say that he looked like he was dogging it a little bit. I think he was a little bit hurt. And that's because of bad planning. You don't depend on Jimmy Graham to throw a key block on a play. And things of that nature constantly come up in the game. He should have run when he should have passed. He ran when he should pass. He passed when he should run. You can go back and forth on that, but these are it's more than that, and it just seems like he can't get out of the way on that. Now, as far as who played well, I actually think, because I was on him, I've been on him bad. The offensive line actually played better.
I was going to ask you that. So you thought they did a good job this week? Yeah.
The one thing that cannot be said is that Carr didn't have time. He had time this week. Mm-hmm. Penning has been playing a little better every week. He played pretty good. Ramczyk played a lot better this week, and the interior line also played better, even though they had some shuffling and injuries. It was better. Run blocking still leaves something to be desired, but
I got a question for both of you guys. I got a question for both you guys regarding the offense, and it's variations of the same offense. This Saints offense theoretically has been around since 2006, meaning that since Peyton came, I don't remember what year Carmichael came in as the QB's quarterback and then got elevated. I don't remember all that, but more or less, these guys have had a variations on a theme. Is that the problem?
There could be some of that, but it's not pure West Coast anymore. It hasn't been, I don't think, for a long time. There are a lot of college air raid concepts in the Saints offensive playbook. Pete seems to use them a little less, and not nearly as imaginative. And Peyton really evolved the offense, even using read option with Taysom in there, and that whole package. So I think it's evolved enough to keep people off balance. You have some Air Coryell stuff in there from way back, and there's enough of in and out that if you use it in a strategic way, that sort of thing, and I understand what you're asking, that sort of thing is not going to be an issue, because look, there's nothing new under the sun really in the NFL. All of this stuff has been used before ad nauseum. So, but if you, as a play caller or offense coordinator, are stuck in a rut where you either are not scouting yourself or you have a certain number of plays you want to get to, it's going to be a problem. One of the things that I thought was an error, has been an error over, is too much going outside and down the field. Let's use the middle of the field. We've got Mike Thomas. Let's use him in there. You said you were high on Juwan Johnson. He's a middle of the field receiver if you're going to use him. I'm not as high on him.
So you're talking about seam routes, basically. We haven't seen a lot of seam routes in this offense this year.
Seams and crosses. Yeah, we haven't seen enough. And even Kamara coming out of the backfield doing that Texas route or option route and option back towards the middle, like G pointed out earlier, isolating him on a linebacker and letting him use him up, because ain't no linebacker going to cover Alvin Kamara.
Pipe, what's your take on this subject?
Well, I'm gonna just continue on Sam's thought on that, because if y'all notice, the Bucs lost their safety in the beginning of the game, and not once did they test the middle of the field. And as far as play calling, I think, like you said, you have to self-scout and look and see what tendencies that you see in yourself that other coaches might see. You have to not be so predictable. And I think play calling is like a good song. You got to get into a rhythm. It's like, playing an instrument and you playing your offense. And I think that's what's missing. Carmichael, I think the rhythm man was Peyton. And I don't think Carmichael kind of got that rhythm like Peyton had. And it's just frustrating, because it's like I'm feeling the same way y'all did. I mean, they probably know more they probably forgot more football than I ever gonna know as far as that's concerned. But I mean, from watching football for 50 years, I'm dating myself. I mean, you kind of see certain things, and you notice things. I mean, sometimes I could sit back and watch a game, and I could pretty much see what the play is going to be from watching 2 Sundays before that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest thing, I think he has to sit back and maybe let somebody else take a shot at it. With the assistant coach Curry, they let him call during the preseason.
Ronald Curry.
I mean, yeah, get some of that. I mean, because I don't know. To me, Carmichael he's not getting in a rhythm. He's not playing a good song on Sunday for me.
Absolutely. So, fellas, I just want to let you guys know that everything that we've done up to this point, I didn't record, so we're going to have to start again. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But my point is, that's the feeling that Saints fans have gotten from looking at all the hype of this team off season and over the last 2 years. You see what I'm saying? You look at the pieces, maybe not as much this year coming in, but last year, our expectations were high. We were excited. We got all these defensive players and pieces and free agents, and every year we're picking up a new piece. And one of the things that we've been saying for the last 10 years or more, since we've been watching the games via text together, is I'll tell you who the Saints are after a month to play 4 games. So right now we're sitting at 2-2. And so looking at us, we look like a mediocre middle of the pack team that'll be lucky to get in the playoffs. And And I'm gonna say one more thing, and I'll let you go, Sam. At the beginning of the season, we all gave our projections, and your guys, I was surprised. Your high end win loss totals were kind of on the low end. I think I might have given them one or two more wins than you guys had given. And I just want to say before we even get to the season, it looks like it's trending toward what you guys have seen. I mean, what you see is what you see. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing that is most disappointing to me is this is a skill position wise. This is a very talented team. Defensively is a very talented team. The offensive line is even very talented. They've just been underachieving so far this year. So I think that they can, but it goes back to my lack of faith in the head coach. And I just don't think he's up to the job. And by extension, then the offense coordinator. And for the first time, I think I saw this weekend some frustration amongst the players. And it's showing in, I don't want to say their effort, but their enthusiasm towards the game or lack thereof. They seemed, after a while, they seemed flat. I'm not going to say they didn't give effort. It seemed.
But you're looking at their body language. You're looking at their body language, and they don't look engaged. As Pipe, what's your take on that as far as the coaching? Is it too early to be thinking or talking about a coaching change?
Actually, I went to the game. On my way home, Barry called me, and he played at Southern Miss, and we were talking, and he kind of told me that he got disgusted but he said, looked like the team just wasn't buying into what Dennis Allen wants to do, and he said, just we had a good discussion, and it was like he said, it just didn't look like the Saints team that he wanted to back, and I kind of agree with him. We spoke a good bit about different things, and it was just that, I mean, he basically saw what I saw, and he just said, man, I'm ready to throw my hands up in the air and say next year, which I think is kind of early, but I mean, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he was pretty much like I was, disgusted, with the, like Sam said, not so much a lack of effort, but we both say lack of effort, but maybe, more like the enthusiasm on the
I know what you're saying, man, because look, at one point when Adam Prentice fumbled that ball, which I think that should have been called a touchback, right?
It should have. It should have, because
Absolutely.
it wasn't his momentum. Clearly, the defensive player was pulling him into the end zone.
Okay, absolutely. So bad call. Even the commentator said that as much, and it was clear evidence on the video. But okay, that fumble. That's a 14. Did they score a touchdown after that fumble?
Yes, they did, and then got the ball coming out of halftime.
Okay, so what a 14 points, a 7-point swing. So a 7-point swing right there. So 20-9. At that point, I was thinking, okay, that was a bad play, bad fumble, but we're still hanging in there. But as we got into the second half, I started to feel the way you guys are talking about, and I wasn't at the game. Normally, I like to be at the game and watch the bench and watch people's body language. Didn't have that. Pipe, you were there. You saw it. Sam, did you go to the game?
No, I watched on TV.
But you were able to pick that up on TV.
Right, especially right after plays. You could see some frustrations building, and after that fumble.
Right in front of your eyes, huh?
Right. And look, we could point to Adam Prentice. Yeah, that was a effort. He did. I hate going on just on one player. You messed up, especially if it's a player who normally contributes. He does what we ask him to do. He does it well.
And he dropped a ball, which it would have been a tough catch for a fullback, but I mean, that's what they pay you for.
That's where I was going next. Is like, I'm starting to zero in on Derek Carr. Like I called him a mediocre quarterback. I think and that's what mediocre quarterbacks do. They take what should be an easy catch to a fullback and make it a difficult catch. Now, it hit both his hands. He should have caught it, but he shouldn't have had to make that athletic move to catch it. It's a fullback. Put it in his chest, man. You know, and make it an easy catch. These are the kind of things you do as a top level quarterback. You don't make that hard for him.
Pipe, I got a question for you. I didn't mean to cut you. You want to finish that thought, Sam?
No, that's I was just whining.
No, that's all good. Pipe. What's your observation of Carr as a quarterback? And the thing I want to ask both of you guys, starting with you, Pipe, is the shoulder injury this week, or is that who he has been showing us, who he is, from day one?
No, I'm not gonna put it on the injury. I don't know if he's gotten to that rhythm with his receivers yet. I guess we spoiled because we used to seeing Drew Brees throw receivers open and put the ball where he's taking them out of harm, getting hit by that safety or anything, or either
just accurate, just one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the history of the league.
Yeah, and I think we spoiled with that.
And I was going to ask you guys that.
I haven't seen, as far as I've seen so far, I don't see where he's trusting either himself or what he's seen. As far as throwing a ball in that that window, to get these guys to make a break on a ball and back shoulder. Now he's thrown a couple of nice passes, but overall, it wasn't. For some reason, it to me like he's hesitant. He's hesitant, and like the offensive line wasn't that bad this week. Where if he let that ball go, won't be fighting those long third downs or trying to play catch up.
Okay.
It's just I don't know if he's trusting what he's seen.
Gotcha. Before I pivot to defense, Sam, did you have anything else to add on offense?
Yeah, a little bit more on Carr, and it was what I was afraid of, the kind of thing where I don't know how many seasons, because the Raiders is one of those franchises that the national media kind of pulls for. And so many seasons they went into, Derek Carr's going to light it up this year. He's going to be ready. And then now he's got John Gruden working with him. And every year it turns out to be a disappointment. Whether, whatever coach he's working with or it never, ever comes to fruition. It had never. And to me, I looked at the acquisition. We had 8 years of evidence that, hey, this guy, he's mediocre. He's not terrible. He's got a great arm. He's got some upside, but, overall, he's not going to get you where you want to be. And that was my negativity. In addition, putting him with Dennis Allen, I didn't figure it was going to be a good thing. And I'm seeing kind of what I thought. He's just, it's just not, I don't see it.
Sam, I want you to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. and look, I know you're passionate about this, but hopefully this will make you feel better. Let's give a cheer for Sam. Lifelong fan, has been there with these guys. We pull it for you. Go into defense, Pipe. What are your general thoughts on how the defense played against the Bucs?
General thoughts. I'm gonna repeat what I said earlier, man. We gave up 26 points to Baker Mayfield. Our streak is over with 20 points or less. That's my quick overview of the defense.
Sam.
Right. I didn't think that they were playing all that well at any point really during that game. Certainly not as well as they had played in the previous 3 games. To not be able to contain Baker was really disappointing.
Well, I'll add that the against their best player offensively, we did a pretty good job of holding Mike Evans to 3 catches for 40 yards. The flip side,
but he only played a half.
I think his hamstring took care of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the same.
The flip
Right.
side of that is Chris Godwin caught 8 for 100, a buck 14, no touchdowns, but
Right.
he was killing us.
unacceptable.
Yeah. So what part of the defense pipe did you see that was problematic?
I have a whole litany of things you want. Missed tackles, the scheme. I think we was out coached. Lane discipline, letting Mayfield run free. Missed assignment. Effort.
But I mean, does that surprise you? Because you guys are always saying that running quarterbacks are a problem for us, and have been for the last couple of years.
I didn't see Sam. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't look at him as a running quarterback.
No, he's not. He's
athletic.
He's athletic. Yeah, I was about to say mobile. No, he's able to move in the pocket. He's able to get it. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's certainly not Michael Vick or anybody like that.
Now, to be fair, there's
Justin
very few.
Fields or anybody. Yeah,
you just named two people. That's the only one-offs.
Right. Those,
but I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah. He's a guy who can move if he has to, but you can catch him and you can punish him. But we didn't.
Yeah.
So,
I tell you what I found interesting about this game, because you would think with our offensive lack of production that the time of possession would have been kind of crazy and the defense would have been tired. But I mean, they had the ball for 31 minutes. Right. We had it for 29 minutes. So it was pretty even. So it wasn't a thing where the defense was on the field a lot.
No. We didn't play big in big moments in that game. And that'll get you every time. And they did, surprisingly.
Right.
Right. So here's another thing about our defense. I'll remember in the summer, maybe in one of our earlier podcasts before the season, I talked about maybe, hey, you know what? Let's get a trade for Bradley Roby. All right. They didn't get a trade for him. They just let him go. That he played the slot. You don't just let him go. If you can get something for him to make your team better, then you do that. Okay. And we weren't in such a cap space problem that we had to. Should leave him here, let him play the slot, and let Alante be that backup for one of the corners, which he would have been playing corner, which is his strong suit, not the slot. It's just a frustration for me with the way they're handling their business.
Gotcha.
And
overall,
that gets on to the field.
Overall.
And let me say something else. What the hell are we doing with punter? What does that do? There's no hang time. These punts are short. What the hell? I mean, we had Blake Gillikin had a bad year last year, but he was putting them down inside the 10. Now this dude can't punt the ball 45 yards. This is bad.
Yeah, and I feel the same way.
And that you guys have already answered the special teams question. So the punting was not up to par.
Yeah, no, not at all.
As far as the kicker, I'm okay with that. I mean, he missed last week, and it is what it is. But I think we've improved that part of the team as far as kicking.
And look, with a good 46-yard, 40-yard kick, whatever, we'd be sitting at 3-1 with a mediocre team, but we'd be 3-1. So guys, I want to move us through. Did you notice, Pipe? You got any did you notices for us?
Yes, I do. Did you know since the Saints started playing a season series against the Bucs, this is the first time the Bucs has won 3 games in a row?
I did know that because I think I either read it or heard it from a commentator. Good stat. Sam, you got any did you notices?
No, did you notice an interesting fact that I learned? I guess the folklore items in Saints history is that John Gilliam returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, right?
Right.
And I thought that, wow, that had never happened. The first play of a franchise, we returned for a touchdown. It happened, actually happened before, the year before, for the Miami Dolphins. Same thing happened. Their opening kickoff was returned for a touchdown.
But you remember last year, my uncle said he did it twice because they called the first one back.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
Yeah, that's crazy. So last week we had a topic about in Saints trivia, I think from Pipe, who was the Saints general manager who was a former astronaut, and that name is Richard F. Dick Gordon, who was named general manager in 1972. Pipe, you got some? You got another Saints trivia for us?
Yeah, team colors. Do y'all know how we end up with the colors we have?
Nope.
I remember reading about it, but I didn't retain it. What was it?
Okay. Initially, the team colors were supposed to reflect Mardi Gras, black, green, and gold. But John Meekum was an all man, and what did Jed Clampett call
black gold?
Black gold.
Black and
so
gold.
That's how we
black gold.
Cool. Okay, so I've got a trivia, guys. Question for you guys. September 20th, 2009. What Hall of Fame wide receiver 185 game streak of catching a pass in consecutive contests was ended against the Saints? And at the time, it was the longest streak among active players. September 20th, 2009. And this is the Super Bowl season, so that's a hint. Anybody has the answer without checking Google?
First thought came to mind for me was Marvin Harrison. But what team were we playing?
If I tell you that, then you'd probably know. We were playing Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia. 2009.
Terrell Owens was held without a catch against the Saints, ending a 185 game streak of consecutive games with a catch. Like I said, it was the longest active streak. The Saints ended up winning 48-22. It was the Saints' first win in Philly since 1991. Saints would later defeat the Eagles 27-24 at home in the Dome in the divisional playoffs in January of 2010. Did I just say January?
You sure did. Boy, I wouldn't have wanted to be in that locker room after that game.
So, guys, let me ask you a question. What's Patriots preview? Pike.
Patriots. They are coming off an uncharacteristic loss to the Cowgirls, 38-3. I know Belichick gonna have them prepared, and he's playing against the Jekyll and Hyde of the NFL, the Saints. So we need to find some offense, but the problem right now is the Saints are the 11th in total defense, and the Patriots are 10th in total defense. And the Saints are 25th in scoring, 15.5 points a game. And New England is ranked 31st at 13.8 points a game. So everything is in favor of the Saints, except for they're playing in New England. And we don't know if Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde going to show up on Sunday. So I'm not doing no predictions, fellas. I had it vice versa. So maybe I'll pick the Patriots to win 24-13 and the Saints end up winning 24-13.
Sam, what's your take?
The thing that works in the Saints' favor is that a couple of the Patriots' key players are injured, and I don't think they're going to be there. Matthew Judon is the main one.
Yeah, I got some good news today, Sam. Judon should be ready.
Okay. Oh, no.
You guys have been listening to Saints Game Talk. I'm T-Rose, G-Man, SamRob. We'll see you next week. Who dat?
Who dat?
Who dat, baby?